Tonight on 7 News, Black Spot Fury. A man killed at a crash hotspot north of Perth. Residents say their pleas were ignored. Perth renters face skyrocketing prices as they battle to compete for homes across our suburbs. A third woman threatens to sue over the Sydney Swans' alleged sex assault scandal as clouds gather over tomorrow's historic game. All the way to the High Court, Pauline Hanson's challenge to racial discrimination laws. Prince Harry's big legal bill as Meghan prepares for a new role starring in a Guy Ritchie Netflix series. And the Dockers thumped by the Blues, but does it matter? Hear from Justin Longmuir.
Live from Perth, this is 7 News with Rick Ardon.
Good evening. A notorious black spot north of Perth has claimed the life of a man in his 50s and left 2 others injured. Residents have been pleading with the government to take action for years. As Brandon Demura reports, they fear more lives will be lost.
2 stop signs, 1 oblivious driver. Cruising straight through an intersection where cars fly by at 100 kilometres an hour. There's no accident this time, but yesterday a 57-year-old man was killed here in a 2-car collision at the intersection of Mewshay East Road and Wandina Road, north of Perth. His passenger and another driver also injured. Locals say it was only a matter of time.
I was angry and I was annoyed and I was really, really sad for the people because you just don't know. It's somebody's family, you know? It's not on.
Do you feel like it could have been avoided?
100%.
Gary had a close call at the same spot last year.
Car, and I noticed a van coming through right in front of me, braked, hit the brakes, went left, hit the back of it.
The father of 3 still facing the physical and psychological effects.
But I got whiplash from the incident, which I'm still dealing with a physio getting on top of that 8 months later. Prefer to stay away from that intersection completely.
Residents say their complaints have been ignored.
The Shire are kind of handballing the problem to Main Roads. Main Roads, I believe, just said it's a black spot, we'll look into it, and if nothing happens.
The notorious intersection is a known black spot.
2 weeks ago, the state government announced a record $78.9 million for safety upgrades at 110 black spots and unsafe roads. This intersection wasn't one of them.
There's some real questions to be asked about the priorities of the spending of the Road Trust Trauma Account, which is having millions of dollars poured into it.
The state government says regional road safety is a priority, but locals tired of bureaucracy are calling for solutions now. Our state's road toll this year, the deadliest since 2007.
They had some more signage further back. People would better slow down in time and maybe get that secondary sort of warning.
Chittering Council was contacted for comment. Locals fear ignoring the warning signs will end in more tragedy. Brandon Demura, 7 News.
Perth renters are facing fresh pain as new data reveals prices have skyrocketed since the May budget. But the worst could be yet to come, with economists predicting a 30% rise in rents over the next 2 years.
This is the reality of getting a rental in Perth, an endless battle.
It is really tough, yeah. We weren't expecting there to be that many people in there.
This 2x1 in Wembley going for almost $600 a week, drawing in dozens of house hunters.
It's definitely expensive, especially for first-time renters, like trying to break into the market.
How expensive things are compared to what they're actually selling, it's pretty ridiculous, and we've not had much luck in the past 4 or so months.
The average unit, $700 a week. For houses, it's $750. That surged by $22.50 per week since the May budget was handed down. Suburbs like Floreat rising as much as 57% in 3 months.
What's more concerning is the real average median price rentals such as Kinross, Langford, Wanneroo that are recording up to 14% growth.
REWA says it's too early to link the increase to budget decisions, but says investor sentiment is at its lowest.
The borrowing capacity has changed with these decisions around negative gearing, and people are still unpacking all the decisions and what the impact of capital gains tax changes means to them and their investment.
The scenes here at this Wembley unit today are now the norm across Perth. Huge crowds are turning out to rentals less than $850 a week. Property experts are warning house hunters it will only get more competitive. Economists forecasting 15 to 30% increases over the next 12 to 24 months.
We feel that'll be really challenging for tenants paying rent in this market.
What people need to do is just put their best application in. Ultimately, it's the owner's decision who goes into the property, and they're having a bit of a headache with that.
A rental squeeze here to stay. Brianna in Ferreira, 7 News.
Less than 24 hours out from a historic double-header at their home ground, the sex assault scandal surrounding the Sydney Swans has deepened. A sixth player, recently retired, has now been linked to the Melbourne hotel room, as a third woman involved confirms she's planning to sue.
Playing suburban footy in regional Victoria, Taylor Adams, unable to outrun reports he too was there on the night, plunged the Swans into one of the biggest scandals in their history. The club today adamant only 5 players were in the Melbourne hotel room at the time of the alleged sexual assault. It's unclear at what stage Adams, a former Swans midfielder, was allegedly in the room. He only stopped playing for the club 2 months ago. The bombshell dropping as a third woman involved now says she is planning to take legal action.
She's extremely distressed about what has occurred and is receiving support.
Back home, Swans HQ silent and subdued, 24 hours out from a historic game. A sombre captain, Callum Mills, arriving, but no captain's run as the scandal deepened yet again. Police releasing a new statement, changing wording to say a number of people have been spoken to. The club hitting back at suggestions officials were inside the room, saying they categorically confirmed that no member of staff is involved in the investigation.
As the Swans prepare for their doubleheader tomorrow, the legal teams of the women involved are making preparations of their own, confirming they're now seeking damages in a case which could reach Victoria's Supreme Court.
But not clarifying if they would target the players, the club, or both. 7 News understands the party started around 8:45 on Sunday night, kicking off at a pub in Fitzroy before the group moved to another bar in Melbourne's CBD. Swans coach Dean Cox ended his separate night out at 12:30, around 2 hours before the players returned to their suite at the Pullman Hotel, booking 2 topless dancers at 4 a.m, those women arriving an hour later, followed soon after by a third.
Our client called the police immediately after what had happened. She's provided a statement.
Some of the fans now making a statement of their own. A petition calling for Isaac Heaney, Chad Warner, Nick Blakey, Riley Bice and James Jordan to be barred from the Brownlow has thousands of signatures online. Nick Overall, 7 News.
The rise of One Nation has almost overshadowed the WA Nationals Conference a week out from the Secret Harbour by-election. Leader Shane Love says he'll preference One Nation ahead of Labor as the Nationals unveil their first major pitch towards 2029.
The Nationals are a party built on the bush. At today's state conference, an effort to prove it still owns it. In its pitch for 2029, Shane Love announcing $120 million for regional families.
We're going to make sure that families can have access to first-class services no matter where they live.
It's money for services such as midwives, childcare and GPs, funded through a promised revival of royalties for regions. Established almost 2 decades ago, the Nationals accusing Labor of slowly eroding the fund, using it for everyday services instead.
And the big question I hear wherever I go, right across regional WA, is whatever happened to it? Does it still exist? So we're going to turn that around.
We have to develop the other spaces of our nation and grow towns and cities outside of just our 5 mainland capitals.
But while the party touts its regional credentials, another political force is fighting for the same voters. Nationals leader Matt Canavan insisting the party still own their stomping ground, but conceding a turf war is underway.
There's no doubt we have a lot of competition, but I love it. I love competition.
The Secret Harbour by-election will be the next big test for One Nation's rise. And while the Nationals aren't on the ballot, the result will change the conversation over whether their Conservative competitors soon become an ally.
I think if Labor loses a seat, that's a very good thing. And I think the people of Secret Harbour are going to do that.
Would you be happy to preference One Nation at the 2029 state election?
I would preference them ahead of Labor.
If that helps get rid of this government, that'll be a great day for Australia.
Sam Haberland, 7 News.
And the National Party is mourning the loss of former leader Max Trenorden. The Wheatbelt MP spent more than 25 years in state parliament, representing Avon and later the agricultural region. He was 78. Pauline Hanson says she'll take her legal fight over racial discrimination laws to the High Court. The One Nation leader says she's appealing her recent loss in a long-running case that highlights limits to free speech.
Pauline Hanson paints it as a mission to save free speech. I will not be silenced, she says, promising a High Court appeal for Australians who feel they no longer have a voice. Her legal fight with Greens Senator Marine Faruqi from a 4-year-old social media spat, Hanson telling her rival to piss off back to Pakistan. Just last month, the federal court upheld an earlier ruling that Hanson's comments breached the Racial Discrimination Act. Section 18C outlaws comments that offend, insult, humiliate or intimidate based on race. Tony Abbott, who considered watering down 18C when he was Prime Minister, speaking out again today as he lined up for the annual charity bike ride, Polypedal.
Frankly, Section 18C as currently constituted is a risk to free speech, as we're seeing.
I think it's pretty hard to say we should have more racist hate speech than we currently have.
But Pauline Hanson argues government should never get to choose what Australians are allowed to say. The One Nation firebrand now seeks leave to argue as much here, her last legal stop. As others wave off talk of change, Pauline Hanson is taking one more shot to force a rethink of the law.
I don't think you should resort to courts. You've got plenty of other opportunities to do that.
If they want to change our laws on racial hatred, I think they need to make clear what racist thing is it that they want to say that they think they're not allowed to say.
National Security Editor Tim Lester is at Parliament House, and Tim, the Home Affairs Minister, also spoke today about this week's alleged Russian spy arrest.
Yes, Rick, 27-year-old Vladimir Teslov arrested in Brisbane on Thursday. He is accused of joining Ukraine's military to assist in gathering information and passing it on to Russian intelligence to help the forces attacking Ukraine. Tony Burke today saying Australia will not be used as a base for such operations.
I couldn't be more impressed with the work of the Australian Federal Police on this one.
Any foreign interference is alarming. This is another government. Foreign interference is another government interfering in our political processes.
Teslov is due in court in early October. Rick.
Thanks, Tim. The heartbroken father of bushwalker Lily Hooper has told 7 News he has nothing but praise for police. That's despite a tragic communications blunder that left them thinking the 18-year-old was alive. In an exclusive interview, Jim Hooper says all is forgiven. He's now made a plea for a sky-high tribute to his little girl.
In the rugged bushland where Lily Hooper grew up, her parents Jim and Kiralee today, and little brother Charlie, wondering how something so beautiful could be so cruel.
It's just so sad that she's gone, but I'm just, I feel blessed we had her in our lives for the time,
He says 18-year-old Lily gave everything a go. She was unstoppable.
She just loved the outdoors. She just had so many skills that, we tried to install in her, and yeah, she was just a clever kid who wasn't afraid to take anything on. That was a free spirit.
10 days ago, when Lily set off in the Natai National Park, southwest of Sydney, Jim and Kiralee tried not to worry. The third of their 4 children had managed a 3-day hike of Mount Kosciuszko at Easter.
I was always concerned about her going out.
When no one heard from Lily by nightfall, panic set in. For the next 8 days and nights, the Hoopers and the rest of us waited. And then, of course, that cruel moment when they were told Lily had been found alive in a communication bungle. Are you angry at the police?
No, not at all. I'm not in any way angry at the police or the police commissioner or the premier.
The family now says other young people can learn from Lily.
She'll leave a legacy, I hope, for girls, young girls, to get out and about and enjoy, life like she did.
And they'd like the Premier to keep their daughter's memory alive just a little longer.
If Chris Minns could organise probably to get the flag put at half-mast for her.
Why would that be so meaningful for you?
Oh, just as a tribute to Lily. Like I say, she's an advocate for young women.
Clementine Cuneo, 7 News.
Prince Harry's grand plans to return to the UK have suffered a sobering setback. He's been ordered to fork out millions to the Daily Mail after losing a high-profile court battle.
Weeks before Prince Harry's return to the UK, a brutal reminder of why he left. Handed an eye-watering legal bill after losing his High Court battle with the Daily Mail.
He will feel really, really furious, I would thought.
An initial $18 million payment due in a week, split between he and 6 co-claimants, including Elton John and Liz Hurley, whose case the judge slammed as unreasonable, speculative and lacking a proper evidential foundation. And despite being insured for $31 million, Victoria's publisher Associated Newspapers, that labels the ruling an overwhelming victory, will fight over the coming months for a total $65 million. The question before Prince Harry and his fellow star claimants is, do they appeal? But the bruising judgment brings with it a second dilemma. Do the Sussexes want to begin their new life in the UK fighting an old and likely ill-fated legal battle?
Because it's not all covered by the insurance, they're going to have to dip into their pockets. It's a very bitter pill.
All potentially funded by Meghan's return to acting in the UK.
Should we play or should we talk?
The Duchess of Sussex in talks to star in Guy Ritchie's Netflix hit The Gentleman, in a role styled as the ultimate temptress 8 years after leaving her role in Suits.
Wow, you're pretty.
Good. You've hit on me. We can get it out of the way that I'm not interested.
The role understood to have brought forward the couple's planned return. Another factor, security officials reportedly revisiting whether to provide the prince's family the taxpayer-funded security they lost when they relinquished their royal work. One fewer financial burden and one more reason to pack their bags. In London, Ben Downey, 7 News.
You're watching 7 News live from Perth. Ahead tonight, Donald Trump's joke about Iran leaves critics waiting for the punchline. A deadly attack on a Ukrainian shopping centre. The message from the country's president. Engineers ready to retrieve a SpaceX rocket off WA's coast. And the key ingredient to beating brain fog. It could be sitting on the supermarket shelf. That's later. Donald Trump has joked about bombing Iran because he didn't have much else to do on a Friday night. He made the comments as he returned to the rallying stage after he threatened a new wave of crippling sanctions to force Tehran to negotiate.
The US president back on the campaign trail.
Too big to rig. Very simple. Too big to rig.
Rallying support in South Carolina. Not for himself, but for the candidate he's endorsed ahead of the midterm elections.
This is MAGA country, right? Yes. But if Trump isn't actually on the ballot, so what I really want you to do is pretend, please, that I'm on the ballot. Just come and vote it.
In November, Americans will head to the polls to decide if Trump's Republican Party keeps control of Congress. Democrats are hoping the president's declining approval rating, his war with Iran, and economic pressures, including the cost of fuel, will sway the votes their way.
But the radical left Democrats want to destroy all the progress that we made. I call them Democrats because their policy is so dumb.
Trump has threatened crushing financial sanctions to pressure Iranian leadership to make a deal, end their nuclear program and reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
Look, it's a Friday night. We have plenty of time, right? What the hell do I have to do? Go back, bomb Iran a little bit more?
From Iran, we have seen this movie before. Same bull, different bullies. Tonight, Trump did have a win. The Supreme Court ruling construction can continue on his White House ballroom.
when they say proceed, I think that's a good thing.
The ruling is temporary while the court weighs its next steps. In Washington, Miley Hogan, 7 News.
There's been a deadly Russian drone strike on a shopping centre in Ukraine, with President Volodymyr Zelensky vowing to respond to the attack on his hometown. At least 15 people were killed and another 130 injured in what's been described as a cynical and despicable attack. It began with an initial strike on the centre before a second wave minutes later that targeted arriving emergency workers. A mortgage broker is inviting ordinary Australians to watch him square off against the Prime Minister on the tennis court. Despite not being a fan of Anthony Albanese, Joseph Dowd spent thousands for the opportunity to serve the PM some tough questions.
This mortgage broker swaps his suit for Larry tennis gear as he prepares for a showdown with the Prime Minister. Budget critic Joseph Dowd won the right to play a match with Anthony Albanese from a charity auction at Parliament's midwinter ball. The 35-year-old is taking it seriously, hiring a coach, pushing himself to exhaustion. 7 News can reveal a date has been locked in for the slam at the Lodge, but can't be publicised for security concerns.
The match is coming up soon. We are very excited about it.
He can bring 3 spectators, offering front row seats to ordinary Australians.
This is an opportunity that can't be missed.
Launching the competition online tonight, wanting to know what question you'd ask the PM in 25 words or less. Joseph Dowd tells Seven's podcast The Issue he'll quiz the PM on the budget. He paid for billboards attacking the unforeseen tax hike on all asset classes like shares, crypto and collectibles. The broker has seen a surge in people refinancing due to high interest rates and falling property prices, but admits he's become more partisan. Are you a member of the Liberal Party? Would you join?
I did become a member of the Liberal Party, but this was way after, I think it was after the budget was actually legislated.
Joe will announce the winners of his competition on August 30. Josh Martin, 7 News.
And for more of Josh Martin's interview with Joseph Dowd, you can watch the Issue podcast on YouTube or download the Listener app. Up next on 7 News, SpaceX splashdown, the major operation to retrieve a rocket that's landed off WA's coast. The common supplement that could be the key to helping clear brain fog. Plus, live music venues struggling to keep afloat. Why an Australian first concert could help change that tune. And meet the Australian women fighting the Taliban with a needle and thread. That's next. Engineers from Elon Musk's SpaceX company are preparing to retrieve their rocket from Christmas Island after landing off its shores. Residents in WA's north were treated to an incredible display this week. The SpaceX rocket successfully completed a world-first soft landing in waters off Christmas Island.
From Texas to WA. This is a SpaceX touchdown the company has never done before.
This is a game changer. I think it's fair to describe it in those terms.
The rocket splashing down in the Indian Ocean 1,500 kilometres off WA last month. It's the first time anyone has managed a controlled re-entry and upright landing like this.
You can only say that that's pretty cool, actually. The technology and the development behind that for such a massive object, the control required is it's enormously impressive.
The feat not just impressing astrophysicists, but Christmas Island residents who are now sharing their waters with the Starship.
I'm still waiting for my parcels from Perth that I express posted 3 weeks ago, and Elon managed to get his rocket here within a few days of it landing.
Locals say SpaceX engineers have now arrived to coordinate its removal.
They were inspecting something all day, I think yesterday and today, having a look at it.
The location of the landing chosen both because of its remoteness but accessibility. The 52-metre-long spacecraft towed to the island this week, residents rushing to catch a glimpse.
Everyone was piling up. I think this was probably the first traffic jam on the island.
The Starship is expected to be picked up and towed back to the US by SpaceX tomorrow. Elizabeth Creasy, 7 News.
A common supplement found in almost every pharmacy is being tested as a potential treatment for brain fog. Australian researchers are investigating whether creatine, better known for building muscle, could also sharpen the mind.
You walk into a room and suddenly blank, or a name, a word, a thought just disappears. Brain fog isn't a medical diagnosis, but describes problems with memory, concentration and thinking.
Feels like they're trudging through mud, trying to get to the right answer, trying to finish complex mental tasks.
Poor sleep, stress and low mood can trigger it. It's also common after illness and usually linked to hormonal changes. For women, the fog can get thicker during menopause.
Studies show anywhere between 44 to 62% of women will experience brain fog during the menopause transition.
Now researchers are testing a surprising brain boost. Creatine, better known for building muscle. A new trial is investigating whether the supplement can also fuel the brain and clear the fog for menopausal women.
We want to know if we can support the brain's energy production, could that then support memory and thinking?
If successful, creatine could be an affordable and accessible option.
Creatine would be a viable intervention for women who are struggling with symptoms like brain fog, particularly as a non-hormonal intervention.
For now, doctors say the best medicine is free.
Sleep and exercise are really important alongside sort of staying mentally engaged, socially engaged, making sure you're eating well.
Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
It might seem like a handy skill for those good with a thread and needle, but for women in Afghanistan, embroidery means so much more. It's now become a tool to tell the world about Taliban repression, and an Australian is helping local artists tell that story.
Embroideries of a child, a bird, a butterfly, so innocent, but depictions of living creatures are banned by the Taliban. So this, the art of defiance by 45 women in Afghanistan, brought here by an Afghan-born Australian artist.
More than art, I can say, more than embroidery, they are the stories of the women behind them.
These women, not identified in this video for fear of retribution.
It's a way to express resistance and to carry the silent voices of Afghan women to the world.
Since the Taliban returned to power 5 years ago, embroidery a rare form of expression for women, forbidden to speak in public, banned from universities, most jobs, public spaces, unless with a male guardian.
Most of these women were doctors, teachers, medical students, university students. They all had a life before, but now under the Taliban regime, embroidery is their only option.
So this exhibition highlights their lack of human rights.
I think these women are enormously courageous.
Afghanistan veteran Kat Ray features the country in her own artwork, inspired by these women.
They're defiant to the very end. I think that's so impressive.
They still want to be heard, they still want to be seen, and I find that really moving and really beautiful.
We are truly grateful for the voices of Afghan women to be heard and for the world to witness the reality of their lives.
Nick McCallum, 7 News.
Up next, sparks fly in a wild chase. A ride on 3 wheels ends in the arrests of 3 suspected car thieves. Plus, the fight to save a popular music genre will take you back to where it all began. Sport with a View meet the teenage Aussie pilot gliding into the history books.
And coming up in sport, Docker Blues. Carlton beat Freo. We speak to Justin Longmuir next as the Blues fans celebrate. Plus, Australia hits back in the cricket.
Now, Fuel Watch. Perth's petrol prices brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
3 accused thieves have led police on a wild 160-kilometre chase across South Australia. A laptop inside the stolen ute was the trio's undoing. Officers used that to track the suspects in real time. They spiked the vehicle's tyres, but it continued on 3 wheels.
It's like something you'd see out of the Blues Brothers.
Arrest that man! Arrest
All 3
that man!
were eventually arrested and charged. 7 News can take you inside an icon of Australia's heavy metal scene, which began as little more than an outback shed in the Red Centre. But now it's fighting to keep its doors open, and it's far from the only Aussie live music venue at risk of collapse.
In the dead centre of Australia is the beating heart of death metal, and it all began more than a decade ago in an old warehouse.
There's an industry that depends on it, and there's lives that get changed by it.
The Black Reef's top export, Southeast Desert Metal, which tours nationally and draws big crowds, last year performing at the Sydney Opera House. Also behind the internationally renowned Black and Open Air Festival.
Bands fly days, like 36 hours plus, from America to come and play these shows.
But with its building up for sale, it's now facing the same fate as countless other live music venues across Australia.
The music industry, the live music industry, is in a really kind of fragile state.
A changing drinking culture, fragile tenancies and climbing costs hitting grassroots venues, many teetering on collapse.
Either vulnerable or saying we can't keep going much longer, or running fundraising campaigns.
The Black Reef doing just that, trying to raise $1 million to buy the building themselves.
So it'll be put into a trust and it'll be left to this town forever.
The fact that there's almost $500,000 already with still a month to go just shows the power of community.
In a final push to save the venue, bands across the country will perform in a nationwide festival, believed to be an Australian first. All playing simultaneously on September 12, with ticket proceeds going to the cause.
We want government to support these businesses that are really social enterprises.
A cultural asset seen as just as important as our libraries. In Alice Springs, Jacqueline Robson, 7 News.
An Adelaide teen has soared to the top of the gliding world. Max Scutchings beat almost 50 international pilots to be crowned junior world champion in Germany, despite taking up competitive flying just 9 months ago.
Yeah, it didn't feel real. It took a while to set in.
Max now hopes to turn his passion into a career as an Air Force pilot. Adrian, Barich here with Sport Now, and Barry, you'd really like to know what's going on behind the scenes, wouldn't you? What does that loss mean to the Dockers?
Well, I would be saying it's not a problem, Rick. I'm sure you are as well. But let's hear from the Freo coach after the break as the Blues fans cheer on a team that never lets you down. Missing several stars, Freo dropped their last game before finals. Patrick Voss drawing plenty of attention. And Mitchell Stark into the history books with a first ball onslaught in Mackay. Dockers coach Justin Longmuir says not all is lost after the club suffered its worst defeat of the season on the eve of the finals. After a blistering start from Fremantle, the Blues hit back in the second quarter, charging to a 37-point win over the minor premiers.
A game that meant nothing for the Dockers in terms of their ladder finish, but a possible confidence hit and another name on their injury list, not what they wanted to come away with.
Disappointed because all year we've been trying to make sure that we treat every game with the respect it deserves, and thought we did that this week.
The usual slow starters off to a flyer. The ball movement as slick as it's looked all year. The handball happy Dockers slicing Carlton apart. Defender Oscar McDonald moving forward and looking like Jai Amos. Big man Josh Tracy sneaking through goals like he were Murphy Reid. And even Mason Cox selling candy and hitting up forwards as if he were Luke Jackson.
The ball goes towards Voss. Fast start, Dockers. Fast start indeed.
But there's a reason every team in the finals is worried about what Carlton has done across the last 3 months.
Another kick was excellent to find Ainsworth. Good build-up again by Carlton.
The Blues getting their ball movement going as their midfield got on top in clearances. Carlton back in the game as a Docker was out of it. Brennan Cox limping off at the end of the first quarter and not returning.
He just felt something go in his calf, and we'll get it scanned and work out what the damage is, and chances are he probably misses the first final, but there's hope behind that.
A 23-point lead, just 3 at the first break. The Blues suddenly red hot, going on to pile on 8 of the next 9 goals.
Opportunity for Kemp outside of the boots. Oh, they're rolling now, Carlton.
They couldn't seem to miss. The Dockers couldn't seem to buy a goal.
Should be able to stroll in for goal. Oh, won't the crowd love this?
11 points behind at the half. Justin Longmuir rallying his troops, barking orders before heading into the rooms. Paddy Voss tried his best to inject some energy and fire up his teammates, but every question they asked, the Blues had a response.
This time gives it to Cripps for the quick answer. The skipper delivers.
Couldn't control the game through the contest. We smashed pre-clearance at times, and well, over that period, but it got worse at times.
Longmuir admitting the players had taken their foot off the pedal. The Baggers bagging 10 goals after half-time. 119 points, the highest score Fremantle has conceded since round 1 of last year. 4 last quarter goals saving them from a big loss, including a consolation prize for debutant Tobin Murray.
And there's a nice moment for that young man.
A measured approach from their coach.
Back in my mind, I understand that we've got 4 players that are in our best 23, if not better, to come back into the side. So not all is lost, and that was a message after the game.
They have 2 weeks to regroup ahead of their qualifying final at Optus Stadium. Their opponent still not quite locked in. Lockie Burns, 7 News.
And a major blow for the Pies with Braden Maynard and Scott Pendlebury ruled out of Collingwood's blockbuster wildcard clash with the Bulldogs. Maynard hurt his knee at training today, while a hamstring suffered in last night's Lions loss has sidelined the veteran superstar Pendlebury.
I don't think we'll watch any of this. I really don't. I'm not going to get it put on my computer. We're into a match play situation where there is no tomorrow.
Little wonder Logan Morris booted 8 goals in the 63-point win to the Lions. And it could be the Demons that Carlton face in their wildcard game after they were shocked by the Dogs at the MCG today.
Richards was the first to recognise it. As a result, he snaps high and snaps magnificently.
The 21-point win for the Bulldogs means they'll now face Collingwood next week, while both the Cats and Crows can overtake the Demons and move into the top 6 with wins over the Tigers and Giants tonight. The Dogs will be sweating on the fitness of star forward Aaron Norton, who injured his ankle today. And Hawthorn need to beat the Eagles by at least 90 points tomorrow to move past Brisbane and finish 3rd on the home and away ladder, thereby setting up a qualifying final against the embattled Swans at the SCG.
Hawthorn in the top 4. But should they win well, can go up as high as 3rd spot on the ladder, which allows them to go up and play Sydney for the chance to host a home prelim final, which is a huge incentive.
Eagles great Ben Cousins also believes West Coast have improved under Andrew McWalter in 2026.
It's a very results-driven industry, West Coast having won just the 3 more games than the one last year. But I definitely think they've improved. Big picture stuff, they've defended better, haven't been involved in nearly as many big losses, and I think they've been better in the contest. And if not for some inaccuracy in front of goal, I think they win 3 more games.
And tomorrow's Eagles-Lions game is live and free right here on 7 from 5 p.m. The slow start to the season has continued for the Eagles AFLW team, though, going down to last year's wooden spooners, the Suns, by 35 points at Mineral Resources Park in Lathlane today. 3 goals from Amy Franklin wasn't enough for a second-half fight back. Second gamer Alana Welsh booted 5 goals for the Suns. Things won't get any easier either with the Crows, the D's and the Lions to come. And the Waffle final round of home and away matches went down to the wire today. Subiaco actually beat East Perth, but they missed the finals by less than 2%. Here's Mark Reddings.
Yes, Barry, it was a bizarre day with high drama here at Leederville this afternoon. Subiaco ran out winners by 35 points, but they fell 1.5% short of displacing East Perth in the top 5. Big day of footy. Results going right down to the wire. South Fremantle knocking over the minor premiers Peel Thunder by 4 points at Fremantle. Sean Darcy, from a Dockers perspective, 20 disposals, a goal and 38 hitouts. Elsewhere, Claremont defeated the West Coast Eagles to end their chances of making the finals. Swan Districts accounted for East Fremantle by 25 points, and the Demons clinched 3rd position with a hard-fought win over West Perth in what was the final game for Aaron Black and Shane Nelson. Black celebrating game number 300. So next week, the finals look like this. On Saturday, the qualifying final, the Tigers will host the Demons. Then on Sunday, the elimination final with South Fremantle up against East Perth. Barra, lots happening on the final day of the home and away season.
Thank you, Mark. Mitchell Starc has single-handedly turned the Australian cricket team's fortunes around in the second test against Bangladesh in Mackay. He took 6 wickets for just 12 runs. The Aussies lead by 101 runs after day 1.
A sellout crowd hopefully got to see first ball.
And gone! Starc has done it again!
The 4th time Mitchell Starc has taken a wicket with his first delivery in a test match. Only the beginning.
Oh, and it's taken!
Last week's 9-wicket disaster in Darwin forgotten. A near-perfect morning mauling in Mackay. 5 for 4 from just 22 deliveries, now among the top 10 all-time Test wicket takers. Worth a chat with wife and fellow great Alyssa Healy.
Paid for dinner last night, does that mean it's your shout tonight?
You're on bigger bucks than I am, mate. We clearly weren't at our best last week, and to get your first use of that wicket.
Starc taking 6 for 12, Bangladesh all out for 64. Recalled opener Matt Renshaw, 8.
It's gone!
Travis Head, 22.
Bowled him!
Undone the same way he was in Darwin. Desperate for runs, only 4 for Marnus Labuschagne.
Another Marnus goes!
Cam Green boasts a white ball century in Mackay. Steve Smith and the all-rounder taking Australia past the tourist total. Trapped in front on 42, Smith reviewed, far from happy with the result. Cue an Aussie collapse, losing 5 for 30. Matching Starc, fellow paceman Shoriful Islam.
Bangladesh are back in this game.
A first 5-wicket haul he'll never forget Mackay, matching Starc by bowling his fellow left armour.
What a bowling performance it's been.
After his Darwin century, Green unbeaten on 51. Australia 8 for 165, leading by 101 runs. Andrew McKinlay, 7 News.
OK, Dockers fans, listen up. 7 News, thanks to Bank West, is giving you and 11 of your friends the chance to watch Freo's qualifying final from your own suite at Optus Stadium. From tomorrow night, watch 7 News for the code word and enter online. Wharfie time from your own box. You'll definitely be popular with your mates. Can we go on it, Rick?
Yeah, sure.
The Dockers final, I believe, probably Thursday week. So Thursday night game at Optus Stadium. Maybe Friday, but probably Thursday.
And you mentioned Wharfie time. You just love hearing that Wharfie time, but hopefully not.
Hit
so
the button.
There we go. Too close. Thanks, Barry. Still to come. More showers on the way. Your full weather forecast is next. Checking our weather now, and it was a drizzly Saturday. Perth recorded 1.6 mils of rain since 9 a.m. 10.7 degrees was this morning's low, and the city peaked at 21 degrees just before 1 p.m. Looking around the country, 24 in showers for Brisbane, Sydney a maximum of 20, staying dry in the other capitals. Back home to WA, showers with a chance of gusty thunderstorms over the interior, north and central goldfields, light showers over the southwest. On the water off Perth, south to southeasterly winds, 15 to 20 knots, becoming south to southwesterly, seas 1 to 1.5 metres and the swell to 2. Back to Perth, down to 9 for Perth overnight. A shower or 2 and 20 tomorrow. A top of 19 on Monday. Showers returning Tuesday with a top of 21. Then clearing up for the weekend. Tonight's winning lotto numbers now 9, 11, 2, 1, 13, 20 and the supplementary is 28 and 45. Those numbers again 9, 11, 2, 1, 13, 20 and the subs 28 and 45. And that's 7 News Live. Thanks for joining us. Updates a little later. And for the latest news, head to 7news.com.au. Stay with us now for Better Homes and Gardens.